I be on the next I am fresh to death, just call the coroner. I'm a native champ, you just a foreigner. Is that all you got? Come on, you boring us. Hey, looking for the champ, we on the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Green Park Hotel here in Pendik, Turkey, 2. East versus West 12, and we are in to the second half of the show, and our main event sequence of matches are still to follow. Fasten up your chin straps, ladies and gents. This should be hellfire. Our next match is in the heavyweight division and will contest Italy and the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our athletes now to the table. Firstly, starting with this man. He hails from and is representing the USA and is a multiple US national champion, former UAL world champion, Arm Wars world champion, and BAL world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Monster Michael Todd!
Let's go, United States of America. Listen, whether you are pro Michael Todd or not, you must understand that our country needs heroes in the sport of arm wrestling. Make no mistake about it. If you want to go to war in the Eastern Bloc and you reside in the United States, you make the call to Arkansas, USA, and you ask Michael Todd, can you come fight these all-American Europeans? And he will be there.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent now making his way to the table hails from and is representing Italy, where he is a multiple national champion. He had an incredibly impressive debut here at East versus West, and I know that you will welcome back Mr. Frank Lamparelli!
Frank Lamparelli, the pride of Italy, is back on arm wrestling table. Last time he took on another North American superstar, Matt Mass, very impressive in that victory. And this time it is Michael Monster Todd versus Frank Lamparelli. They have met a few times, and the last time was one of the greatest matches you will ever see. After this event finishes, go and Google it. You'll not regret it. Today we're hoping for the same thing. Frank, 6 years younger, about the same height, same weight. Bicep of the Michael, 52 centimeters. Over 45 of Frank Lamparelli. Very close athletes in all the ways. Michael Todd is making his Michael Monster version, what is it now, 3.0? Right?
Listen, Michael Todd is the most unhappy person I have ever seen this weekend. Every time you look at him, snarling face there. Even with the great help, I'm speaking with the great Jim DeGangi in Chicago just yesterday. And he's telling me, Michael Todd's gonna win this match, Coach Ray.
And a slip. Strap will be on Frank Lamparelli's hand. Frank said that he didn't prepare press for this one. Well, let's see the Michael we have now. Michael, right now, he said he has way more range motion than he had for past 15 years. And he said his arms have never felt this great since he can remember. So today is a big proving rounds for him. Michael has pulled in many different classes. Last time we see him here was not in 115, was 105 kilo class versus Kidgali Ongarbayev. Now he's facing Frank Lamparelli, 115 kilos. But what he told me, he said, I don't want to be in this class. I don't want to be heavyweight. I want to be super heavyweight. Probably he set his eyes on the same guys that are fighting at the end of the evening today.
Much like you, I heard the good news and the bad news. The good news, Michael Todd told me he's stronger than he's ever been in his life, Coach Ray. The bad news is Michael Todd has told me that every single match from his existence.
Mike hits
but
on the
that's
outside.
a great sign.
Frank Lamparelli takes the hand. Both wrists are bent back. Michael again in his good defensive position. Frank is still trying to get control over top roll, but gets sucked into the press, resetting. Elbow foul on Frank. Great start from both of these athletes. This will definitely come down who has more endurance and who puts themselves in more compromised positions.
And you can't help but think, if you're a Michael Todd fan, if you are an American citizen, that you are so
Michael
happy
coming for a press
with the beginning of this match. No reason to do anything but exactly the same, Michael Todd.
Michael will
get
hit a press.
over there to 10 o'clock and relax.
Oh no, he went on outside, still arm didn't move. He's all laid out. Frank Lamparelli in very comfortable position, but we've seen Michael here so many times. Frank is climbing, losing a little bit of his wrist, setting up, moving forward for the press, gets the hand, gets the pronator in very good position. Frank Lamparelli again impressing himself in this position, moving his elbow forward, setting high, very high. Elbow foul on Michael.
And we had fear.
Saved Mike.
Yeah, we had fear that the same old Michael Todd was coming to town. If you look at round one, there's two things you can draw from it. It is the same Michael Todd. The good news is this Michael Todd, this version, with a positive attitude, can fight through these 5 rounds and get 3 wins. Let's go, Michael Todd.
Frank still composed. Michael goes for press, loses the wrist. Again, very patiently, Frank Lamparelli climbs. Mike losing his wrist, still has a little purchase on a pronator. Overly supinated, and Frank Lamparelli with a press. Travis Bajan, what the hell is going on?
The United States of America still without a win here in Istanbul. I cannot tell you how damaging that was, not because of the loss, but because of the poise, because of the patience, the confidence of Frank Lamparelli. My goodness, the worst fear has come true. This guy, look at the positioning there, the intelligence, the wherewithal to understand that the climbing of the hand is more important than the immediate side pressure. The confidence in which he took the press. That was close, Coach Ray. It was less than an inch there. You would have never saw any panic on Frank Lamparelli's face.
Frank looks as calm as a cucumber. He said to me before that his victory over Matt Mask was very unexpected to him, and he didn't know he was at this level. I met him in Italy. He said he trains well and he feels good, but he gave all the credit to Michael Todd. He said, I'm watching his numbers, I'm watching his lifts, it's all going up. He looks very, very dangerous. But we see here, again, Frank has the dominant hand, has dominant back pressure, ability to climb. Michael is kind of giving them all away with his attempt of starting too fast. I think what Michael needs, and he has great success with it, is just stay in the center, get control in the center, because when he opens himself up, he puts himself in the positions where he loses the pronator, loses the wrist.
Trying to prove to me and you that he has the flashing power, that he's an absolutely different person. The truth is, you are different. You did have the ability to not lose your hand and get to 10 o'clock, but this is going to require a different battle here. A different battle. Frank Lamparelli is here, and not only is he here, but he's not surprised by his ability to only be in the match, but to maybe even take control of it. Or Frank Lamparelli may have an endurance problem, and he is just maintaining such a poker face and making sure that he can breathe throughout this whole movement. We know Michael Todd has what it takes. He has the heart of a lion. He will fight it out as long as his mental stays positive. He has had some trouble in the past with his mental. We will see tonight if Michael Todd will be okay with fighting like he used to be totally okay with this 25-minute war of actually arm wrestling. It seems now he has so much expectation on himself to be a different puller, to be an offensive juggernaut, that you can kind of lose who you really are. Michael Todd, we're cool with you being a defensive winner.
Damn right. Most important part right now is winning. Michael goes for a press, loses, and then transitions to open top row again, gets in position, trying his best to drive down. Frank Lamparelli is so calm. Climbing, getting higher, and elbow foul on Michael Todd. I think, again, Michael panicked. What Michael needs is to embrace himself, embrace who he is and what he is. He's an open top roller. Make your opponent go where you are your strongest. Don't try to get to his position, because he's definitely losing that battle right now.
We can only hope that the poker face of Frank Lamparelli is on. I did see the mouth open. A little bit of open mouth breathing is a good sign. But once again, Michael Todd shouldn't allow that really, the mental breakdown with Michael sometimes begins with what he thinks is a bad call. He cannot let that affect him. Let's go, Michael Todd. Just keep logging the seconds, Mike.
Much better, much deeper. And again, Mike's ability to switch it up from going on the inside to the outside, but still, he's very open. Frank has great purchase on everything. The only thing is you need endurance and you need to be calm. He's climbing, getting higher, taking Mike's pronator. Mike right now is just all on his bicep, just holding on, and I think he might get a second elbow foul right about now if he's not very careful.
Logging those time is good, though. We got to understand that Frank's gonna be in a tough position all day. Mike needs to make sure that even when Frank with that super climb, here it comes. Still, Michael Todd, this is what we need. Frank is in a dominant position, unable to pin him. Keep logging these seconds, Michael Todd.
Very calm, very patiently. Great work from Frank Lamparelli.
This is better for Michael Todd.
Mike's getting something. Mike's trying to rotate his shoulder as much as he can, and I think there's a second elbow foul right there. What do we have here? Let's see. I would think Frank had constant pressure. Maybe he moved a little bit too much. Yeah, I think the call is one foul. No call. I don't see. Yeah.
Take a look at Frank Lamparelli. We have to see his nonverbal communication. Is he starting to wear? Is Michael Todd's endurance, not only just the awkward positioning, sometimes nothing worse than being in a good hand and wrist motion and not being able to finish. The only hope Michael Todd has is to make this in dog fight. Every single time that Frank gets a win, make sure that he's in worst condition when he gets back to the table. Michael Todd can still win this, ladies and gentlemen. He just has to believe in himself.
Frank is very calm, and that's one thing we know. Like, the way to beat Michael Todd is hard, but the blueprint is out there, and a lot of people, if you know how to read arm wrestling, you might know the answers to these questions. Frank Lamparelli right now knows he cannot be the one who's panicking. He cannot attack too fast, but also you cannot wait too long, because Mike's endurance, especially in those positions, is crazy good. He can hold pressure like no one right there. I'm kind of worried because if you don't see the scars on the bicep of Michael Todd, he's coming off from a terrible bicep rupture, and he's putting himself all on that bicep. So I would say that new tendon holds great.
No doubt, checkmate to the surgeon there. Absolutely crushed it. As far as you making it tighter and giving him more hand and wrist pronation, you failed miserably. This guy's getting his hand taken immediately, just like he did for the last 25 years. Let's go, Michael Todd. Here he comes with the press. Let's see how quickly he abandons it. It's usually really quick.
Mike, 1-1.
Yes, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. We are in Istanbul. Listen, it has been a minute. I sat in this seat and watched every American in East vs. West 11 go down without a single victory. Let's go, Michael Todd. The United States of America is behind you, young man. Let's put it out there that you have the ability to drain other human beings. Is Frank Lamparelli finally showing signs that he is fading? And now Michael Todd can get back to that victory that he so desperately needs. You have no idea how shaky him and Rebecca's relationship is right now. Just kidding, Rebecca, just kidding.
Mike's ability to switch it up between top rope and a press is just amazing. And if you're an arm wrestler, that's such a great thing to have, because one power he's stopping all the matches with his back pressure, but he's winning with his shoulder roll. And one is not draining the other, so you always have to be afraid that Mike is coming in fresh. At the start, we saw that press wasn't working. The power of Frank Lamparelli was still there to stop him. Now he's drained, and Michael Todd just went through it. 1-1 on the scoreboard. I think they could just save us time and get the strap straight away.
Little trivia for you. Can you name another arm wrestler that can transition after they press into some other move? Isn't the press you either get pressed or they stop your press and beat you? Yeah. Michael Todd is 1 of 1 here. Let's go, Michael Todd. Listen, the United States of America is calling. My phone is blowing up. Let's go, Michael Todd. There's the press. We'll get to the straps. Michael now has to worry, has to be careful when he does initiate this press. He can't let Frank give the purchase. What is Frank doing right now, Coach Ray? Is this guy the most unemotional human being known to man? Is it possible that I can still not? Is he deathly tired right now? Or is he fresh as a daisy? I cannot pick up.
We cannot
like Schoolboy was giving us every emotion. He might as well have had a tattoo on his forehead.
Real time.
I'm done, right? This Frank Lamparelli just got pressed in a position where he had no problem countering the starts before. Now I think we're looking at, with the fouls, this is about the 6th or 7th restart. We're at 1-1 with Michael Todd getting the last victory. Is Frank Lamparelli too tired to continue, or does he have just the greatest amount of poise and self-confidence known to man?
Mike setting up for that nasty shoulder roll. Let's see if it works on round number 3. Trying to get the center, trying to get the shoulders straight. Frank Lamparelli dropping low, but you have to have much better from Frank, much better from Mike as well. Mike's really deep in the hand of Frank Lamparelli. That's what he wants, because right now he can come up and question pressing. Let's see if that will be scenario. He's right on at the edge of the pad, and there's an elbow foul for Mike.
Mike, be careful. He needs to see this. He needs to see this.
But if he dropped 2 times, do you have 2 fouls?
Yeah, exactly. Be careful what you look at. And then still Frank, still so patient. You've seen the rising, the patience of Frank Lamparelli. Watch when the matches stop. You take a look, and then all of a sudden there's a subtle change in their connection.
Even now, Frank gives no emotion, 0 emotion, like nothing changed, right? This guy drives speedboats on his free time. That's how cool he is. Round number 2, Mike had a better.
Did give Mike the foul. There was no replay.
Yes.
Although
I think Mike's in a good press position, but again rolls out. Much better on Frank.
We got 1 rise. That's the 2nd rising attempt from Frank Lamparelli. The 3rd. Watch for the purchase.
And
There's
very
the fourth
high,
climb.
very hard.
One more, there's number 5. We should see it any time now. An attack from Frank Lamparelli. It's going to be hard to defend. There's the 6th climb. We see there's no connection from the American here. The Italian is in control here. The 7th climb, and now the thumb has been separated from the index finger. Not only is he going high, but he's reaching outside by digging that thumb in there.
Mike
Now
is
he has
holding
no
on for his
thumb
dear
connection.
life. Holding on for his
But
dear life.
this goes to
Arms
show you, for
completely
Frank to
straight.
have trouble here, Coach Ray, he must be tired as well. That's the 9th, the 10th climb. I've never even seen 12.
What he needs to do now is wait for Michael to get up. If Michael can stand up, that's the moment, right? Stand up.
I think the connection of the strap will be what's he?
Is it elbow foul? He would say that Frank pushed him off, but I don't think Frank pushed him off.
Take a look at this auditorium.
Yeah, we need to
Coach
see
Ray.
the referees. What was the call? Is it 2-0? Sorry, 2-1?
It is 2-1 for Frank Lamparelli.
Yeah.
Michael Todd is beside himself. However, for Frank to have all of that purchase and that connection
Yes.
and not be able to pin him, still, I know maybe I am just a USA lover, but I still feel that if Michael Todd can stay in the game, you see the ugly air squat with I need to relax over here, Michael Todd. Let's go. I know it seems bad. Look at this position
Oh my
here.
God, that was
Never before. But with that connection, look at Michael. To not be able to straighten his arm out shows me that Frank,
okay.
Frank has
Mike
been
was in
compromised.
straight arm position. That was the call.
Perfect. Losing
was the
position,
call.
straight arm with your shoulder underneath the pin pad makes
That
perfect
was
sense.
That was the call. Michael right now is running out of options. I think right now just, you know, put everything in your press, all the chips in the press, and commit as much as you can. But Mike's ability to switch it up and go from the inside to the outside is crazy. The problem is Frank Lamparelli somehow still has arm. Imagine holding on to a 115 kilo human for what it is, good 10 minutes, right? I think they're doing a video replay. This is why taking so long.
Yeah, but it makes perfect sense. We could see losing position, the King's move, we add the shoulder below the thing. It all makes perfect sense on why that was a foul.
Okay.
Listen, this is not a bad thing. Michael Todd has continued to log this time. This version of Michael Todd, although not what he wants per se, it is not a bad product to bring to Istanbul. Look at the capacity crowd. Ingen Terzi, let's take this opportunity right now to say that, my man, what a job that you have done with this East versus West promotion, and this is one of the purest forms of what. Listen, we still have a 1-to-1. Does that just mean that it hasn't been changed? But
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Michael looks like he's still on the same side too.
Yeah, so we're back to round number 2. You can't make this shit up.
Michael Todd has went to the video board and has won. Rebecca threw the red challenge flag that we all know about in the U.S., and it has been granted. Back to the straps, 1-to-1, once again, logging more time. If Michael Todd's going to win this, it's going to be because Frank Lamparelli, all the gas has been completely emptied from the tank. And I don't know where his gas tank is right now. It could be 3/4 full or it could be on E. His poker face has me convinced that I do not know Frank Lamparelli.
We see the audience split in the middle, a lot of Italian fans, a lot of Michael Monster Todd fans right here. Round number 3, 1-1. Michael jumps in the press so close, and he finishes the job. All chips on the red, and he takes the pin 2-1. That must hurt, coming back as Frank Lamparelli when you just think you're like, okay, I just need this one, I just need this one. And they're like, nah.
Perfect scenario. Frank Lamparelli has spent this match a total of 7 minutes arm wrestling in these 3, 4, 7 starts that we've had. And for 6 minutes and 45 seconds, Frank has been in control. And just those brief seconds where Michael Todd has sunk in. And listen, do we know if Michael Todd's chin is touching Frank Lamparelli's hand when they're in that? That beard, there's no way of knowing where the beard begins and the chin ends. There's a chance that Michael Todd is actually using his chin and his hand to pin Frank Lamparelli.
It wouldn't be Travis Bajan if he wouldn't be accusing guy he roots for cheating.
Listen, Michael, whatever it takes, young man, let's get it done here. Michael Todd, this is huge. That's 2 wins for the United States and 1 away from an actual super match victory. We have not seen such a thing here in a while. Let's go, Michael Todd. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. When Michael Todd is winning, arm wrestling is in a better place, Coach Ray.
The matches, like I said, Michael very, very rarely has a boring match. Every Michael Todd match is an absolute battle. You need a lot of weapons to beat him. This man's ability to switch up styles, to put a brakes on you is like no one else. They don't go to the strap straight away. I would think just do it, right? Still gonna be a slip 100%. Michael Todd
just looked right to his spiritual advisor, whoever that may be, and he's like, listen, let me sneak this press in here and end this thing here. Do not want another win.
I'm pretty
from Frank
sure
Lamparelli.
he just made a deal. He just made the deal. The deal's been set. Let's see if it works. Michael 100% gonna go for a deep press. Frank Lamparelli, he was very good, but not too aggressive. I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive, especially on the go.
I'm interested in speaking to Frank tonight and being like, Frank, were you holding on for dear life, or were you just not interested in being here tonight? What exactly was your nonverbal plan? Because you killed it, and he looks a little seated too low. The press looks like it could actually sink in if Frank doesn't stand up.
We see some emotions go, and again Mike dumps it. This time Frank's wrist is bent back. I think Frank might even go straight for the press.
Makes it easier for Frank with that wrist bent back. Makes it easier for him to adjust the hand. Keep climbing, Frank Lamparelli. It's your only hope. You climb and Mike elbow fouls. You climb, Mike elbow fouls. Let's go, Michael Todd. This is what it takes for you to win, Michael Todd. You are a soldier. It's not what you can do, Michael Todd. It's what you're willing to do. Perfect example. Michael Todd was about to lose.
If I was Frank Lamparelli's corner, I would say get that strap off, take a breather, because that's what Michael wants. He just drained you of your dear life. The last essence of whatever was left in your back pressure in your forearms.
If they don't adjust the strap, then there's no way Mike can press. This thing, Mike has to be really careful not to even attempt to press if they don't adjust this strap. This strap is going in the same position they were in right before they called that foul. Mike needs to get that strap off and reconnected in order to make a purchase on this. This is going to be a feeble attempt.
Let's see if Frank can bring it home and equalize it a little bit. Mike setting up high for a press, and he goes so close. And Michael Todd brings it home.
If I know Michael Todd, he is looking. The last time I was here, Michael Todd telling me what the death of his mother meant to him. The poor guy could barely even talk about it. You can't help but to think, when he looks at the sky up there, he is saying, Mom, I love you, and I'm back. Rebecca in his arms right now. Listen, this is a great thing for arm wrestling. Michael Todd almost broke down right there. Listen, if you know that man, you know how emotional that he can be. When he looks at the sky there, just know that there's some purpose there. A super big battle. Michael Todd started off showing us glimpses of being a different guy, but the truth is, it's the same old Michael Todd. And that Michael Todd is an amazing human being and an absolute amazing arm wrestler. And through it all, the fact that the versatility, the ability to stay outside and create endurance problems, and yet the aggressive ability to press and for it to mean something. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Todd is an American hero in the sport of arm wrestling, and we should treat this man as such. What an outstanding night for Michael Todd and family, and you can't help but to see in his eyes how much it meant to him. Let's get the champ with Coach Ray here.
What an amazing match. Two warriors. Let's give a round of applause for both of them. Your winner, Monster Michael Todd. Mike, just say how you feel now.
This is more than an arm wrestling match to me tonight. My mother passed away 6 months ago today. This is for her.
We are seeing glimpses of Michael Todd that we all love. There were moments in that match that any other man would give up. Why didn't you give up?
This match wasn't for me. I had a lot of reasons to win tonight. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be here.
I just want to say it's always a pleasure to call your matches. Everyone here and everyone at home was entertained. Were you not entertained? Thank you, Michael.
I can be all things through Christ. With God, all things are possible. Thank you, Mom.